So, hello again. Last off, we were with, Maria. Oh, hello! Bowie, good morning! How are you? Can't even count on one hand the number of people I see going outside only to have their eyes glued to the things. I forget what we were talking about, so... Backlog? Okay, we were talking about that stuff. Well, we're with, Marianne. An Irish lady. And we're currently talking with Rose, a Scottish lady. And fuck touch screens. They're evil things that make typing, what should have been a simple task, harder.
I do have an online portfolio, if you'd like. I can...
Speaking or thinking of the devil seems to have summoned it because before I can even carry on, Rebecca's attention wanes as she pulls out her mobile. For what I can only assume is a call, she gives me an apologetic look before standing up and excusing herself. Off farther into the aisles she goes for some privacy. I'm glad that you're doing fantastic. I am also doing fantastic. Yup. Hold on a second. Okay. Now that I've done that. I just offered an invitation to someone to come join me because I don't like playing things alone. But then again, I do have the people in the chat to keep me company. I do my best to give it to her as well, trying to tune her out.
Well, is something wrong? Lunch at the coffee house? Sure. I can make it. I'm not too far. I can be there in 10.
Okay. That's our relationship so far. This is who we've played so far. Lunch at a coffee. Oh. But with how quiet the surrounding is, she can't blame me if I overhear snippets of her conversation. When she returns with a sheepish look on her face, I know that our friendly chat has been cut short.
Sorry, I have to go and meet with some friends.
Well, from the title of the stream, it is...
It's fine. Totally fine. No need to even apologize.
It is a scary visual novel game.
About the book.
Called The Letter. Yeah. Her embarrassment increases twofold when she realizes she's holding onto a history of the Luxembourg architecture. I don't give her the time to think about it as I put a hand up and shake my head, fishing out a pen and paper from my bag along with my business cards. I hand them over to her. Well, if you would like to know a review. So, basically, I could go through all of this. I could, because it all goes in order. So, basically, there's this haunted mansion, and one of the characters, Isabel, who I will show you. Isabella. She accidentally picked up this letter and she read it, and because she read it, it started off a chain of events. And the letter ended up to be a chain letter. One of those haunted like chain letters, but very, very old, not the internet kind. So, and she works in real estate. And there's this mansion that she was trying to sell with her partner, Rose. However, the mansion kind of has a foul history. In come in Hannah. Hannah wants to buy the property for her and her husband to, live in. Their marriage is a bit estranged. Her husband is Luke, who's all the way down here. She wants to sign the papers immediately and accidentally sees the letter that Isabella had. And so she ends up reading it. And because she ends up reading it, so does Luke, who looked at it over her shoulder, and her co-worker, Rose, Isabella's co-worker, looks at it too. Shrugging it off as like a prank, but Isabella believes that it's like very real. She encounters, she goes back to like hang out with her friends, Zachary, Rebecca, who was this lady right here, and the other one, Ashton, who's this detective guy right over here. They all read the letter too, because it accidentally falls out of Isabella's purse, and so they're all cursed with seeing this lady. And they'll either die or they'll survive. I have no idea. And Marianne, she's the bit of the odd one out of all of this. She is just a designer, but she read the letter too. Along with Hannah and Luke, because Hannah and Luke hired her to fix up the manor, or like stylize it a bit more. It was already fixed up, but to just like make it prettier or fit their needs. And now we're here. We're now going through Marianne's story. If you want to see the rest of the letter, the first parts, I do have them up on my YouTube channel. You can just click the pigeon icon and it will take you there. You just gotta find the Spooky Scary Game Time playlist and you can watch it from there. It's all in order. Okay.
You know, I'm busy with work, so I might not even be able to take a peek at it anytime soon. You can go ahead and have it. But you'll have to ring me up when you're returning it just so I can snag it right away. Deal?
And the mansion's name is called the Luxembourg, which is why she wanted it in the first place. I think she just wanted to read up on its history. She makes quick work, penning her number down and handing it back to me with a grin.
Deal. Just message me during school hours, of course.
Dear Lord, I didn't see it, the hipster pigeon. Yeah. That links all the way to my YouTube. I mean, I thought it was obvious. Deal. Just message me during the school hours, of course.
You have a good day then.
Oh, whoops.
You too.
With Rebecca gone, I'm left alone standing in the history section. Although my original plans were to simply sit down and read a good book, a little pop quiz, if you call it that, made the time pass by without any of us even realizing it. It was fun, and I do believe I made a new friend. Good job, Marianne. Even with the talk of lunch, however, I don't feel like grabbing a bite to eat. There are still other books to be read here, and I'm hoping to find something that will help me while I work with the rights. Something like How to Deal with Arseholes Professionally 101, just in case. I've dealt with a lot of uppity, snooty, and rich clients before, but it's still better to be safe than sorry. Because Luke Wright just takes the fucking cake, and he probably manages to eat it too. It would seem the world is conspiring to keep me away from my me time, as my mobile vibrates in my pockets in the moment I find something from the shelves, from the classical literature section.
Marianne McCulloch, Charlie Rose Design speaking.
Rose Cooper here, Miss McCullough. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time or anything, but I just wanted to check in and tell you that we've got the clear to hand over the documents.
This is Rose.
Madam Wright told us that we should forward the floor plans to you.
Already? How did they go through the process so fast? Surely, there is so many red tape to even acquire the forms and the transferring of the rights. No matter how rich the rights are, it shouldn't be this quick, right?
So, if I can just have your email, I'll be sending them your way.
I'd actually like a physical copy of the floor plans.
Oh, I suppose that's fine. I'm not at the office right now, but I can inform Miss Santos of your request.
I'll make sure to drop by the office after lunch if that's fine.
Not a problem. Right. Well, cheers.
Right. Cheers.
I don't know. I just don't. Is there some sort of deeper miscommunication when we last met? These things take time. It's been, what, a day? Less than that, even. See, the mansion that they're trying to sell, I already explained it before, but, like, the mansion that they were trying to sell, doesn't have a very nice history to it. There isn't even a point in trying to make sense of these people who seem to be larger than life. As it looks like I'm on the clock starting today, I might as well eat. Grabbing some fish and chips from one of the street food stalls, I find a table to spend time with a copy of Marquise de Sade's The Crime of Love, since Rebecca left with the book I wanted. I've read this one before, along with the rest of his works. This would be the 18th time, in fact. It's always been nice to read through it again when I don't have the time to enjoy something new. Besides, when you're dealing with people so filthy rich that they just end up playing filthy, you need the good old Marquise sound advice.
La blessure se trouvant sans aucune sorte de conséquence.
The wound being without any consequence. Of course, it's folly to think that things have no consequence when everything actually does. Briar Realty Corporation Luxembourg branch isn't too far off in the city center, just a few blocks away, and I can easily eat and walk. I'd rather use this time to rest before I go into a flurry of activity. No doubt there'll be so much more to do once we get hands-on with the mansion.
Still a lot better than working on another condo, at least.
Surely, no matter how much BRC and the old owners put into the restoration and preservation of the place, any big repairs would be superficial at most. I am quite certain that, in their haste to sell the property, they did a rush job. It isn't an infrequent thing to do, despite how it is frowned upon. There'll be a lot of hidden issues that I will need to weed out, and I have to make sure I find every single one of them, especially the more serious damages. Structural integrity is definitely on top of the list we will have to consider. The building might look sturdy, but it is centuries old. That alone will likely pose a few problems here and there, but limitations on what we can do. Oh my god. She's just complaining. Oh my gosh. Blah 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 blah. And now we're here. When I do go up to the BRC's office, I can't help but stop and stare when I enter the building. With the lunch hour closing, employees should have been back already if they still aren't filtering through the door. Oh god, I don't like the feeling of this. I get that it's a Saturday. You know what? Let me just prepare. Let me put my water down and away. No, nothing breaks. The people probably feel tired and lazy to be working on the weekend, but they're still on the clock and not bumming about, wasting company time on extended lunch breaks and cigarette sessions. The office is spacious, as it is with these corporations. Each person is to give their little space of what's usually a 2x2 meter cubicle. There is a lot more empty chairs than there are actual people at the desks. It reminds me far too much of my last day at the Forks Cova projects during the massive layoffs due to the Irish economic crisis. But it isn't just that, though. Oh gee, what could it be? Always have your water. Everything is as quiet as a grave. It's as if these people are merely ghosts. Ghosts! Oh no! God, that's Isabella. Speaking of ghosts, Santos comes through the door looking as if she's just seen one. She looks at me wide-eyed like a deer caught in the headlights, ready to bolt at any moment. I'd ask out of concern, but I feel it's not my position to do so. What if it's something personal? Ugh, I'd simply be overstepping my boundaries. Really, it's none of my
I presume
business.
that Miss Cooper told you why I'm here, Miss Santos?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just got back from lunch, you know? But it won't take too long. Don't worry.
Of course it won't. This whole project has established itself to be a matter done in haste. I do hope it doesn't mean that people are being careless in their duties.
She flinches and looks like she doesn't quite know how to respond to that. Thankfully, instead of opening her mouth, she leads the way towards the station. Towards her station. Not to the train station. Woo woo, go on the spooky train. And goes to fetch the floor plans. It won't take too long, she said, but it does take a bit time spent to compose herself, most likely.
You know, we usually just email these things.
I prefer the real thing.
Not that you would know. Jesus. Probably have your nose stuck in front of a smartphone when you're not working, and even when you should be working, playing those mindless addictive games. Good lord. I definitely wish Chris would stop playing that bat cat thingy during work hours.
I know what
too.
you mean. Digital painting is nice, but nothing beats the smell of real paint. Not that I go and smell paint like a crazy person, but, you know, the real thing is different.
Wait, what?
Yes, nothing is quite like the real thing.
Immigrant Mansion. Oh, yeah. It's the Immigrant. Checking out the floor plans, I see that I'll have a lot going for me. Now that I know how Ray felt when he found the Central Park West building floor plans from that one movie. This is why I became an architect in the first place. Jacobean style at its finest is a thing of beauty. Look at these gorgeous rooms and the delicate harmony between the empty spaces. Okay, so 2 attics, hall, ballroom, big right here, the garden, sleeping quarters, basement, gallery, music room, dining hall, kitchen. It's nice to look at these. The parlor. There's some restrooms there. Master's bedroom. Hallway, conference room. More quarters. Okay, study room. More of a bedroom over here. Theater. Oh, you have a theater. That's pretty cool. And speaking of empty spaces, there's something rather odd about these ones.
I feel a bit silly saying it out loud because I've never lived in a big house, let alone a mansion. But during the tour, I had the distinct impression that the rooms were bigger. Maybe the scale is wrong? It's not much of a problem. And it is an old house.
There have been little details here and there that I would have liked to address during the open house too. But it was all forgotten in the wake of Miss Santos' incident and the trouble with ownership. Yeah, she's talking about the litter incident. And possibly the fact that Isabella fell down the stairs. The wine cellar is going to be a problem. I shudder to think what sort of repairs they did to the place. There might have been things that were swept under the rug, pushed into the dark corner of the rooms and hidden away in the barrels. Water damage could have been covered up. There have been floods due to heavy rains in West England just last year, after all, and if there is any sort of damage to the house's foundation, that's going to need a lot of work. I was not able to look at the attic as well. For all I know, the whole family of vermin could have made their nests there. Working with pest control is always the worst. The sheer size of this place is staggering, even if I did just say it was a lot smaller than I thought. I might be biting off more than I can chew, but who doesn't like a good challenge? First things first, I'll have to...
So, do you want a coffee? The one from the staff room is pretty decent.
There's really no need. I'm sure you have rules against it.
Rules against bringing someone coffee? That's ridiculous, and even if there were regulations against it, nobody's really here to tell Sir John. I've already brought 2 mugs, and I'm not going to drink them on my own. Come on.
I have to stamp down my annoyance at being distracted. Seeing the young woman, though, it looks like she has a lot on her mind. If blabbing is her way of dealing with stray thoughts, I'm not really the one she should be blabbing to. How should I respond? Alright, what do you guys think? You have something to say? I don't have time for this. I feel like you have something to say. Look at that. Our relationship's full. I give her the time to speak up. Oh, I don't have time. Whoops. When she stares, I clear my throat.
Yes? You have something to say?
I feel like this might open up a bit more. When embarrassment creeps on her face, I snatch one of the coffees from her and take a sip.
Just thinking and speaking off the record, it must be fun what you do. You go to people's houses and you make them, well, pretty. You're sharing your art with them.
It's a little bit more complex than that. But if you put it that way, it is fun. I wouldn't have done it for 7 years if it wasn't a little bit fun, I guess.
These big clients always have paintings in their homes. Do you have a supplier for art pieces?
I didn't expect to hear such a question from her, seeing how well she handled herself yesterday. I didn't doubt then why she was assigned to an important sale like the Ermengarde mansion, despite the little accident she had. Now she just looks too young, too nervous, and too unsure of herself, although her enthusiasm must make up for that in spades. In fact, I wouldn't have believed it if she had introduced herself the way she did at the moment. Why, watching her now, she actually looks like she should still be in college. Acts a bit like it too when I think about it. I thought she was a teen slumming it out in the mansion when I first saw her there, lying on the ground. Surprise, surprise, she turned out to be one of the estate agents handling the property.
The clients usually support artists of their own choice. If they don't, I'm always happy to refer those that I know.
That's cool.
They're very picky. I don't think a hobbyist will have an easy time getting their work sold.
Hey, I'll have you know I was a student of the fine arts.
And yet, here you are, selling property. Maybe you weren't a very fine student of the arts.
Maybe I took that a bit too far. What? Oh my god. She bites her cheek and looks like she's barely holding herself
It's not like I had a
back.
choice.
She mutters that under her breath. I barely even hear it. But the hurt is there. And it makes one wonder what brought it on. Although it's understandable, of her reasons is what I think it is. Very few people make it big in the art world. I can see why she'd be upset about it with that enthusiasm. I didn't have a choice when I left Ireland. It was that or years of unemployment. The recession and the toll it took in the construction industry was out of anyone's control. I don't know what choice she wasn't able to make, but whether it was about her art, being at art school, or something else. But the world isn't a fair place. And the sooner she accepts it, the better. Still, with that forlorn look on her face, I can't help but sigh. The girl reminds me far too much of myself when I was younger.
Well, if you're thinking of commissioning your paintings, I'll have to see your work first.
Oh, it's not... I didn't mean it like that. I don't have any paintings.
Really? You sounded a lot like you still did art or want to. Now I'm starting to worry that you might just like the smell of paint.
I'm not a paint huffer, sheesh. I just mean I don't make much anymore. I don't really have the time for it. The tools and materials aren't exactly cheap either.
Everything has a price. It sounds like you're making excuses for something you're presumably passionate about. If you really want to practice art, A little out of your wallet isn't much.
It's not that simple.
It's not. Life's simple. People just like to make it complex. Speaking off the record, I have some advice for you, kid. Either go for what you want, or stop thinking about it when you have something else. That is unless you enjoy making yourself miserable, then by all means.
You know, if you wanted to look at the floor plans without me bothering you, you could have just said so.
Would you have left me alone?
We'll never know now, will we?
Okay. It's clear there's more she means to say, perhaps even to defend herself and her choices in life, or is she expecting me to dish out more of that advice? It's an awkward affair, and I choose to hightail out of the realty as quick as I can. Oh. Though I am able to keep myself professional at all times, does not mean I like it. And seeing that most of the day has gone by already, before I realized it, I choose to head back to my flat instead, despite today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this time, I could definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter. I wonder what would have happened if I had said I don't have time.
I don't have time for this. Just spit it out.
Huh.
Well, you see, the coffee, it's getting cold and, that's not good.
Is that all? May I get back to work without being interrupted?
Sure, I'll leave you alone. And if you need me, I'll be just look for me somewhere. It's not like that's going to be hard.
What a bitch.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
What? What? Wait, what? What? What should I stick with? Should I stick with... I mean... Wow, okay. I think I like... maybe this one a bit more. I feel like it gives me more. Plus, I like maxing out relationships. Though I am able to keep myself professional at all times, does not mean I like it, and seeing that most of the day is already gone, by the time I realize it, choose to go back to my flat. Despite today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this way I could definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter, considering how much I'll be seeing whiskey in the near foreseeable future. I have a feeling I'll need all the rest the weekend can give me. For the first time in a long time, excited as I am to work on the mansion, I cannot wait for it to be over and done with this project. Yeah, Monday couldn't come sooner. After taking the floor plans to Miss Santos the day before the last, I spent most of my Sunday drawing up plans and calling in my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I'm quite sure they'd want high-end appliances, the most expensive materials, and the most pretentious everything. They usually did, these rich types, based from experience at least. Given how badly this whole thing started, it wouldn't hurt to be prepared. Be prepared. I wonder, can you sing that one? Miss Off Key? She's not off key. I have to check myself, make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building's attendants takes the elevator up with me. It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. But I'm safe from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to my floor is nerve-wracking. The rights lived at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to the condominium in urban living. Just getting access to the place is an ordeal of its own. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks just to secure a key card. Not only because of the building's management, but because of the right's personal security. It sometimes felt like I was being interrogated for a crime and not visiting a client at their home. Even when their personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hastened. Speaking of the devil. Hello there, sir. How are you doing today? The elevator door opens and I am greeted by none other than Whiskey's not so little lacking.
I do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting, but I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security. And only 5 minutes late.
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle on.
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
He shows me to the couch before drifting off towards the kitchen, quietly pulling out a teapot, cups, and all sorts of other things in preparation for tea. Oh, Jill. If only you were here with me. I ignore the animosity towards his employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be too surprised if Whiskey's own people don't like him. Accepting the quiet and isolation instead, I braced myself for what's about to come. In this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes, even 10. I sit in their living room just waiting. And when the kettle starts whistling and the tea has been served, I continue to wait. At least the silence is relaxing. This is very pretty. Birds! There's a crash. I nearly spilled my tea all over my lap in surprise, and I look up from expecting security to come running. God, shit! My legs! Spilled tea all over them. Too much tea. Oh my god, what is this, Earl Grey? Oh, thank God it's on my Earl Grey suit. Even the man at the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast like he heard nothing. I don't want to speak up about it because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking, and I don't want to be the cause of burnt food or worse. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what that was, although I am normally not this nosy. Check it out. Continue waiting. I say, check it out. The crash came from the hall, and I really shouldn't be snipping about, but it's just concern. Yeah, concern that urges me to check it out. Sticking a glance at the butler, I consider sneaking off.
Excuse me, but where's the loo?
He barely looks my way before pointing his spatula towards the hallway. It's a good excuse, isn't it? And if I'm caught lingering longer than I should, I could excuse myself and say that I wasn't sure which door would lead to where. Oh, shoot. Tyler! No! Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, both your Sims are pregnant again, huh? One of them just had twins. Oh, boy. Why the hell is is this place so freaking dark? Shit. So looking into the hallway reveals nothing. I don't see anything that might have caused the crash. The hallway, like the rest of the place, is in pristine condition. This is pristine? It's dark as... God, there are several doors for not only the toilet, but also presumably rooms for their butler and other members of the staff. As I stand there, however, something feels definitely out of place. One of the doors, the nearest within my reach, stands ajar, and from inside, the light flickers and says... It could simply be a light bulb that needs replacing. But the thought of it in a place so well taken care of seems odd. Off. I think that maybe this is where I'm going to die. Inside, I can spy a radio lying on the floor. No radios! No! Silent Hill! That's probably right. That's probably it, right? Maybe one of the help in a hurry to get out of the room knocked it over in the process? If that's all it is, I should really just leave it alone. As I turn to leave, the sound of static fills the air and a man's tiny voice interrupts the silence. Wait, a man?
At 7 in the morning, students found a 5th year dead.
That's terrible. Why am I still standing here? Yeah. Leave. I shouldn't have getting too late.
Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
Ew. That's terrible. This seems familiar, doesn't it?
Authorities are investigating the possibility of foul play.
What? Like I've heard it before.
Reporting from St. Samthins, Shane McLaughlin of Galway Bay, AM.
Oh, my neck. Oh, my neck. Oh. Oh, my neck. Oh. 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 Ah. 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 Ow. Okay. Backed away from that. In the process, I tripped backwards on my feet and wait for the pain of falling flat on my back, but instead I feel a hand on my back and I see the smug smile of... Well, guess who?
Oh, don't tell me you're reporting to work drunk, Mint.
You missed it, huh? Well, thank goodness. Of course, I know exactly who that voice belongs to. It just had to be him.
Marianne McCullough, hammered on the job? That would be something.
But...
Wouldn't dream of it, Whiskey. You're allowed to be if you want it, though it's a bit early for it. So thanks for the save.
Really, it is much appreciated. Even though the circumstances of our meeting were not savory or wholesome, I can bring myself to completely look at Mr. Wright in a bad light. I can't bring myself. Okay. Nothing came out of it after
It's
all.
no trouble at all. I've been told I have a gift for catching pretty ladies, being a great catch myself.
That was a good one. Okay. Okay, I'll give you that one. That was pretty good.
Is that so? Would you say you'll be able to catch if another man were to pitch?
Perhaps, but I wouldn't know. I don't play baseball, Mint.
Right. Right. Of course you don't.
Can a but chuckle at my little joke, but it looks like it completely went over his head. If he had understood it, I guess it would have been inappropriate. He is my client, after all. Speaking of which, where's Miss Wright? Did he go up? I'm confused. Did he actually go up from that? Okay. Oh, he went down. Because I was talking about Miss Wright. Now I've glanced behind him only to find that he's on his own. Miss Wright is still absent. So remember my place and why I'm here. To continue in such a manner with her husband would feel like a breach of trust between my client and
Since you are here, I don't suppose Mrs. Wright is on her way down? It is 10:30 after all.
She'll be down here in a moment. For now, you have me. Can't I just chat with a good friend?
I don't think a night where we talk like two drunk Egypts makes us good friends. And if you have any bit of sense, it's better to forget that night ever happened.
What? Why not? It was a good night, if a bit boring.
You know exactly why. We both know what your intentions were that night. And to find out that you're married, if there's even an ounce of decency in you, if you'd like the world to be a little less messed up, you'll remember your wife and what you almost did to your Mrs. Wright.
Just better get that out of the way once
Well, no need to be such a killjoy about it.
The dead air between us, because it can't be anything else but that, is broken as a lively voice calls out from the loft.
Marianne! I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. I know we agreed we'd start at 10 o'clock, but mornings just simply do not agree with me. Not one bit. It's been like this since I've been in university.
I want to punch him too, it's okay. It's 5 minutes to 11 o'clock. These high-end clients sure like to be fashionably late. I'm used to it though, much like how I'm used to so many years of hearing people mispronounce my name. Besides, berating or correcting my client would be extremely impolite, and Marianne doesn't sound too bad when she says it. To be fair, it doesn't seem like she's late on purpose.
I see you're up, darling. You know, you could have woken me up as well. Were you showing Marianne around? Not that there's much to see. This place is so tiny compared to the mansion.
I'm a little worried about the way she stares at me, judging. Such a look. It doesn't suit her pretty face at all. Just seeing Miss Wright reminds me too much of her. Maybe I'm starting to hear her again, see her again when I shouldn't. I should have left it all behind, forgotten it. To think she would be looking at me that way. I can feel it. My hands tremble.
Oh yes, just showing her around and getting to know each other. Isn't that right, Marianne?
Yes, of course. And your butler was making breakfast a while ago. So if you want to get right to that...
Breakfast would be lovely.
There is no denying it. The clients, when they invite me over to the table, though it is too personal to share a meal in their home, it would be terribly rude to deny their invitation. I want this breakfast. Besides, the pancakes did look and smell heavenly. A bowl of clotted cream, fruit syrups, jams, and other spreads are laid out next to them, making for a colorful arrangement. If this was with a bunch of friends, I would have gladly helped myself to the whole lot. But as it is, I accepted just a few pieces of pancakes and topped it with a lemon and sugar.
You know, I was a tiny bit serious when I said I wanted a helipad.
And you're not serious about the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables?
Well, I do want those too, but I know you'll agree to those.
We're talking about interiors here, honey. You don't handle exterior designs and whatever handles those sets of projects do you, Marianne?
I'm able, actually, and willing to take a project of that nature. I was an architect in Ireland before. Of course, that's another contract entirely. I also suggest we finish the house itself before working on any additions to the rest of the property. There won't be any problems about ownership this time, will there? Pardon if I'm crossing a line, but the acquisition was rather quick.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got everything sorted this time around. I've talked to Miss Cooper and Mr. John from BRC, as well as the old owners. Everything has been paid in full, and all we're waiting for is the paperwork from the land registry. They're letting us move in as soon as we please. It's not like they were living there in the first place.
That's good to hear. The problems that could arise from renovating another person's home would be... well, let's not dwell on it. First off, we'll want to know how you want the place to look. It's pretty furnished as is, but I understand if you want to modernize the whole thing.
Actually, I'd prefer to keep the place looking as it is. But at the same time, I want modern appliances. You worked on the Ludgate's Christchurch summer residence. I do remember there being an oven I thought was a simple drawer before. Make them look vintage, antique, blend in with the rest of the decor.
Customize appliances then. I can't find someone for that, and if you can't tell me what you specifically want, it'll hasten up the process. We're talking about electronic appliance manufacturers. If you have a preferred brand to work with.
Splendid! So, what is next on our agenda? All the other interior designers we've hired in the past do not have us this involved.
I stop. What sort of half-baked designer did that? If I knew who they were, I would have words. This isn't the time or place for it, however. Instead, I use this brief pause to pull out the floor plans I brought.
We'll have to figure out what you want to do with the rooms. Here, we can have a quick run through.
What is that little room next to the master's bedroom?
Oh, as far as I could tell when I saw it, it's a second bedroom of sorts. Used, apparently, for the ladies in waiting who has served Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. Which is strange, as that isn't the norm for these sorts of houses.
Well, we're not stuffing Johans in there. He won't fit. You don't suppose we could turn it into a walk-in closet and a dressing room?
I love fashion, but do we really need to turn an entire room into a walk-in closet, dear?
Says the one who takes 3/5 of our closet. Well, what do you suggest we do with it?
I thought a utility room of some sort would be nice. A craft room where I can do fun things. Or maybe a children's room might be nice. You know, for when Kylie comes over. Or if Rochelle visits once she's had a baby.
1, you are not inviting that witch. And 2, there's a whole mansion for Kylie to play in. We don't need a children's room, and you don't even do arts and crafts. I'd like to turn the guest's room and the study into my personal office, by the way, if you don't mind.
You can turn it into a personal office if I can have my utility room. It's just the one room of the many. I'm taking that room for myself, no matter what you say, dearie. So you might as well take this deal. You're always out doing business anyway. The real problem is the theater. Whatever are we going to do with all that space?
Fine, we could turn it into our own personal cinema, I suppose. Might as well have it, if you plan on not having a telly in the parlor.
Yes, well, I don't want guests to be glued to the telly when they come over for a meal and some tea. By the looks of things, we can keep the rooms as what they are on the ground floor, though. The ballroom would be perfect for parties.
Do we really need a dining hall, though? I don't suppose we can't convert it into a garage.
What for? You can park your cars outside.
What about that room? Right there, in the northeast corner.
That's sleeping quarters for the household help?
Oh, that is perfect! Johans will be glad if we have other staff members who stayed in. It'd be convenient so they don't have to make the trip from Luxbourne to the mansion when they're needed.
You'll definitely need a lot more people to maintain a property of this size.
The mansion is really a lot bigger than I thought. Look at all these rooms. I didn't even know there was a music room next to the parlor because of what happened.
There was a grand piano in there too, when we checked during the tour.
Did you hear that, Luke? Maybe you can take up playing the piano again. Oh, you should have seen him when we were younger, Marianne.
It's not like I was very good with the thing.
Oh, hush you. You were no Mozart, but I loved hearing you play nonetheless. He'd come over to my home and he'd play such fun tunes. He'd sing too, and I'd dance, and it was just...
Mr. Wright playing the piano? I can't imagine it. But the earnest way in which Miss Wright said so told otherwise.
Anyway, what do you think of these plans, Marianne?
Are we not even going to consider one of my requests? Not even just a closet or just a garage? Now, that isn't fair, is it? You're not the only one who's going to be living here.
I hardly see how that's unfair. I told you you're getting your office and your theatre, the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables. That sounds fair, does it not, Marianne?
If I say we can compromise... Okay, that.
You can still have a garage.
See, Marianne agrees with me. Thank you.
But the structural integrity of the mansion might be at risk if we try to turn the dining hall or any of the rooms into a garage. Taking down one of the exterior walls might hit one of the support beams. And with a mansion that old, I'd rather not risk it, especially without closer inspection. There's always compromise, of course.
I suppose that's better than nothing. Better than flat out saying no.
Mrs. Wright does have a point. There's plenty of space for a garage outside of the mansion itself. If you'd like a covered parking space, we can arrange something on the grounds instead.
Then we better go there. I want to see where we can build a garage.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now.
I mean, that makes sense to me. Let's see what the other one's like. That brings her all the way up.
Mr. Wright, your plan isn't quite feasible from an architectural perspective. I'm not even sure how much we can do without closer inspection. Well, the one about the garage, at least. A walk-in closet is easy enough, but the garage?
See, a garage isn't architecturally feasible and it isn't going to be financially sound as well. We're already going to spend a lot on your other requests. You have several acres of land to park on already.
What? Did you calculate that on the fly? Financially sound my foot. You're probably just thinking up of imaginary numbers.
Might I remind you that I was a financial manager? I also looked over and approved the expenses of our other houses. I know the rough cost of these things by now, love. Masters in business administration, major in accounting. Sometimes I think you forget that I'm not as dumb as I act.
Business administration and accounting? What university?
Lux upon you, of course. Go Lux Dragons, red and gold.
Excuse me, how about we move on this chit-chat ahead and do whatever else needs to be done sometime today? I had to cancel my appointments for this, you know. We might as well do a proper inspection with the designer this time, just to get it out of the way.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now. We actually took another look at the property yesterday, though it was brief. But I'm sure you would want to see it yourself, to spot anything we might have missed.
Okay. So, question for you all. Because, what do we want to do? I'm undecided on this one. What do you guys think? I can go either path. First option? What about the rest of you blokes? Learn more with the first option. Okay, I got 2 votes for the first option. First option we do. Oop. Okay. Yay. right into the Ermigerd mansion in their rice is an awkward affair. And his relationship goes a little bit up. Not only am I worried about scuffing the expensive leather seats, but I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple's spat. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them starting at each other at any time. Nobody is saying anything, up until Mr. Wright tells his valet to turn the damn radio off. And for a moment, I think he might start, but instead he stays quiet, and so do the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. Birds! I have never been so glad to see a house. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride, and I can finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to make me gaze and wonder every time I see it as well. Miss Wright moves towards the front door, keys in hand, and I can already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in, but I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scout the property and circle the perimeter on foot. You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use. I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Someday I'd like to ask how Johannes can even stand and tolerate the man. Why doesn't he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. You'd be surprised. Even I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed the contract. At least I'll only be working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every single day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. This wretched, strange sunlight is far too alien and rare. There had been a bit of a problem with the missus not knowing which key was which. First item on the agenda would be the grand staircase. It seems sturdy during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage or wear and tear, probably rethreaded during renovations. Hi, Tyler. Peeking under the grand carpet, the wood is properly installed with the bark placed down to prevent cupping. The carpet itself could use a vacuum, though. Structural conditions, from what I can see, without actually dismantling the thing, look to be in good shape, and the handrails and support posts are firm. The work on it should be commended. I can't look much more into the rest of the foyer, however, because Mr. Wright starts to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know. They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
The man didn't look too pleased at this. There's a look of disappointment before he sighs and looks around the place with an air of defeat. When he moves to speak, I dread another unreasonable demand.
This will stay a dining hall then. But if I may have another request instead, at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants or something. It feels so old and dead in here.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
The look that passes between the two of them, There's a genuine look of fondness there. This is the first time I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there is little doubt that they loved each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them. Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house.
Him and daffodils.
I'll just be around here downstairs if anybody needs me.
That leaves Miss Wright and I.
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own. Somewhere, I'd like to think. They may be about his mother. He never talks about her. I don't even know her name. He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Much like the piano, I didn't take him to be a person who liked flowers. Daffodils, least of all. What's next? Am I going to find out that Mr. Wright saves kittens from burning buildings?
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
You're leaving me alone? In this place? When she goes, without even asking if I need her here, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Really, I don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really part of the interior designer's job. But the architect in me is committed to do this task with every project. If I'm going to make a living space that is both form and function, I might as well make sure that the entirety of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I roam around the dining hall to check things of my punch list, if you will. Punch list? I'm love ranch wheat thins. Okay, that's good. You do you, Tyler. But when it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with Whiskey. I have to look through the place eventually, sure, but on the other hand, I can at least do it when he's gone. And go upstairs if I want to. Check ground floor, check the first floor. I always feel like that you should always scope up the ground floor. Just because there's one troublesome client shouldn't mean I'll let him get in the way of my work. Parlor's my first destination. Mostly because I figure Mr. Wright is hiding down in the wine cellar and making plans there. I'm going to bump into him sooner or later, but I'd rather make it later. Much, much later. The place, upon closer inspection, is in good shape. I don't doubt this place was done with most care, considering it would be one of the first rooms visitors would see during the open house. There's a stain on the carpet, likely by one of the guests at the time, but there isn't anything a good cleaning can't get rid of. Next is the music room, or at least that's the plan.
Locked? Oh, come on now.
Oh, God. Rather the doorknob again, harder this time, double check, and even give it a good budge to see if it isn't a problem with the door itself. But no, definitely locked. That's weird, considering the rest of the rooms aren't. It could just be this one, though. And I can try the other door through the ballroom if I really want to get in. Here's when I hear it. The sound of a piano. Though it just plays one note over and over again. Can you stop, please? I don't like your playing. It makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand, and I back away from the door. That wasn't exactly the superstitious store. What am I gonna do? The room is locked. You're Irish, it's fairies. I could just go back to it later. Maybe see if I can go to the ballroom and... God dang it! Music room door opens, and who else but Luke Wright stands by the doorway. He looks a lot like a cat ate the canary, and I didn't appreciate the way his eyes linger
Isn't
on
it
me.
common sense the locked doors mean someone wants a bit of privacy? You didn't try and break the door down. Or did you just want to see me again that badly without the missus? I don't see why you would, though, Mint. Nothing really happened between us.
Well, I wasn't looking for whiskey. I was just going around to do my inspection. Thought it needed a push, just in case the door was stuck and actually needed repairs.
So you really are some fancy interior designer, huh? Had you told me you were one, I would have called you a piss taker. I figured you'd be, I don't know, an assistant going for a drink after a week with a tosser of a boss.
I'm just glad you thought me any sort of professional with how ossified I was. I must have not looked the part, so I understand your surprise.
Doesn't offer a witty retort, and he grows quiet.
At first glance, Hana didn't look like some fancy finance manager when I first met her either. She was the pretty daughter of this rich, powerful man. When she was introduced, they told me that she was not there as the man's daughter, but as a part of management. I thought it dubious. All the beautiful women I knew before her, they used their looks to get what they want. And there she was, with all that she could ever need in life. Yet she works hard to earn her keep.
It sounds like you admire her.
Hearing that, I too can help but feel admiration for Miss Wright.
You enjoy your job, don't you, Mint?
It helps me earn my keep, as you would put it. A bit strange to say out loud, but it gives me purpose as well.
Do you think then that, maybe, Hana would want to go back to being a working person?
Taken aback at his question, I wait for further clarification. What makes him ask this, and why me of all people, right? She seems content, you should ask her.
Shouldn't you be asking her this? Isn't her opinion much more important than that of someone you just met in a pub a few nights ago?
You're a woman, and I figured you might know more. I mean, people are always saying that women are fulfilled by having husbands and having a good home. But then, I see ones like you who look happy having jobs. Maybe she's like you, and having a job would be better for her.
Just because I'm a woman? You do know we don't all think the same way. But I don't know, I'm not married or anything, but this shouldn't be a complicated matter. She's your wife for how many years? Talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't you guys talk during supper or something?
That gets him thinking. Or at least it looks like it does.
Well, I should let you get back to work. Thanks for talking with me, I suppose.
Right. But anything goes awry if you take my advice. Just remember that I'm not some marriage counselor. So take it with a grain of salt.
My marriage goes down the shitter, I'll sue you. Noted.
Wait, that's not...
Too late. He takes a step back into the music room, shuts the door, and leaves me there looking gobsmacked. He wasn't serious, was he? That man, I don't understand him at all. One moment he's this huge arse, and then he's this person.
Odd guy. Still needs a good arse kicking if you ask me.
Okay. What the heck is this person that's in my head? Okay, so forget about going into the music room then. That's fine. He'll have to go out there sooner or later. In the meantime, I can go around and check the rest of the house. This is the ballroom. All my words fade when I go into the ballroom. Well, this place looks pretty freaking neat. I like it. Anyone who has it will certainly be the belle of the ball. Certainly, it's great. I like it. I don't think I could do much of a thorough inspection in this room, so I note it down for later. Oh god dang it, do I need to go down into the basement? Shit. Moving on to the kitchens, I checked the ventilation and general fire safety in the kitchen. This is a bit important for a place of this size. I would of course suggest bringing an actual fire safety inspector over for a more detailed inspection. It wouldn't do to see such beautiful architecture go up in flames after all. Maybe it's better off going up in flames. I take measurements of the countertops and cabinets, note down what type of wood they use. I wanted some of these recreated to hide the modern day appliances. There's a loose floorboard on the farthest corner, and some of the others had scratches, but everything else seems to be in decent shape. My concentration is broken when someone
You can
knocks.
come in. Door's not locked.
I wait, expecting Miss Wright or the butler to come in, but nobody entered. Okay. Guys. You're with me, right? Okay. Okay. Knocking again. Please don't come in. It's louder and more urgent this time. I'm pretty sure I didn't lock the
All
thing.
right.
Right.
I'm coming. Just hold on.
Move to open the door, I realize something. The knocking isn't coming from the door, but from somewhere else. The trap door. I pause for a second, waiting, but the knocking has not ceased. And becomes very desperate. I'm creeping. Desperate, insistent glance as if grasping for a respite.
Is somebody stuck down there? Jack!
What the frick? Where did that come from? How did it even get down there? That put the heart. Oh my god. Ugh. Cats. For a second there, all those ghastly rumors about this place had come flooding back. Now peering into the darkness of an open trapdoor gets me thinking. And it gets me curious. Seriously, though, I should really make sure that there aren't any surprises from down under. I don't think the Wrights would appreciate it if we found a litter of kittens making a house of the wine cellar. Mr. Wright seemed the type to skin a cat if any of his precious wines were to be contaminated. I'm done with the kitchen anyway. No! I don't want to be down here. Going down the flight of stairs while wearing high heels is always a very bad idea. I agree. Descending into the dark underground only makes it worse, but I manage anyhow, without any major slip-ups.
These stairs need work, that's for sure.
Surprisingly, the wine cellar is in good condition. This is good condition. There are cobwebs everywhere. I'm confused. No water damage from last year's flooding, and apart from the dust and cobwebs that have accumulated, the place will likely hold for several more years. Hooray! Time to get drunk forever and ever. Racks and barrels line the walls, making its spacious room look smaller than it is. I'm no expert, but it looks good enough for immediate use without any further additions. Good. Bloody whiskey will be having a field day. I think so, at least. Anyway, I feel something crunch beneath my... Ew! Oh. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass underneath my heels. How? Why? The cat's fault, I wager. And it made the downstairs a mess with the wine. There's a lot of stuff for it just been a few bottles though. And a whole trail of it flows down the end of the room and I follow, fully expecting a leaking barrel or a whole upturned rack. Instead it just keeps going and going until a large puddle at the very back wall. Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready.
What a waste of wine. Why is it so sticky, though? Ugh.
It's thick too, nothing like wine. Of course, it could just be mold.
Maybe it's not wine. Go on, touch it. I dare ya.
What? Despite it all, I find myself answering, who the heck is this? Who? What? 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 I'm confused. What? Because it's her voice. Amy Lorraine. Lovely Amy, pretty Amy. I can imagine her standing there with me, laughing and pestering me as I did my work in the way only friends can. Who be this twat? Who? She was my friend and the only one I had at Samthan's. I was a scholar, the charity case, in a school of privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down on me if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. All except her. Sometimes I wish for the good old days when we were friends. Now No, she's nothing more but a ghost. Ghost. Oh, God. Though I try so hard to get over her. I really, really do.
What am I, 5 years old? Oh, damn it, it's stuck under my shoe.
I double dare you. Hell, I double dog dare you. Don't be such a scaredy cat. It's probably wine. What else could it be? Blood?
Don't be ridiculous. Why would there be blood down here?
Why are you hallucinating? If I was the joking sort, I would have said it might have been the reason why the previous owners sold the place. Maybe the ghost stories are actually true and they wanted to get away from the walls that dripped of ectoplasmic goo and whatever other ghouls haunted about. Doubt it. I hardly believe in any of that voodoo nonsense as it is, but as I stare at the mess at my feet, probably looking like a fool while I'm at it, I notice something strange. Oh, God dang it. It isn't visible unless one is really paying attention, but I can see red gunk seeping through the crack in the wall.
What's this then?
Okay. I worry about the structural damage and damage to the foundation. I worry about the wine cellar, as the wrong conditions can lead to the deterioration of its contents if the temperatures and humidity are not controlled. Up until now, I see how clean cut the crack is. It runs along the edge of the wall and vertically along it, where a door would be. Pressing my hand against the wall leads credence to the idea as I try to feel where it would
Ooh! Could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere.
Oh, really?
Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
If there's a hidden room here, that could certainly explain the discrepancy in the mansion's floor plans. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that there could be a hidden rooms and passageways all over the house if we were to follow that logic. And boy, isn't that exciting. This feels like straight out of a game. Yeah. Suddenly she touches my arm and I flinch away in shock. That shouldn't be possible. Lunar. She touched me. Lunar, she touched me. She shouldn't be able to touch me. My arm is going crazy and I'm scared. No. She actually touched me. No. I understand auditory hallucinations, maybe even visual ones, but that was...
You look surprised. What's wrong?
You? That's not possible. You're...
Do I have to do a quick time event? Dead.
Aren't you happy to see a dear old friend, though? I'm hurt, I am.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I've come back for you.
That's terrible. I don't like it. But yeah, the other two ends for Zax are different deaths. Oh, god dang it. So I actually kept him alive.
So that we can be together again.
You know, what you say could imply two different things. It either means that you came back to life to be among the living again, or you came back to kill me, and I don't like either plan, and I don't like the way that you're looking at me either. Please stop looking at me that way. I'm very uncomfortable. I got the jeebies, I got the heebies. I don't want to scream right now. Please don't make me scream. I refuse. When she touches me once more, I recoil. What does she mean together again? She's dead. Okay. Okay, so C is like that. Alright.
No! Leave alone!
Leave you alone? But I just got here.
What? Oh my god. Turning around, I met with the Wright's butler, who looks at me with an indifferent look. And when I look back, Lorraine is gone.
I wasn't talking to you, just thinking aloud is all.
Wait a minute. Kylie? Isn't Kylie like their niece? Wait. No. Isn't Kylie like the Wright's niece? She did mention that, right? Where was that? Oh, goddaughter. Trying to find the thing.
You should really avoid talking to yourself, Kint. Do more of that and others will think you're insane.
Yes, thank you. Is that all you're here for, or has your master sent you running down here for something?
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city. The car is already running, you see, and I suggest you go back to the foyer, unless you wish to be left behind. It seems you are in good company already, after all, with this house and your imaginary friend.
Wait, we're leaving already? But I haven't finished inspecting the rest of the house.
Be that as it may, there's a sulking man-child up there who wishes to go home. We are all subject to his whims, lest he throw a tantrum.
I can't help but smile at that. He's a strange guy. I love you, dude. Don't die. I still can't imagine how you can work for a guy like Luke Wright, though. I imagine the blonde arse isn't an easy guy to get along with. Whatever the butler was having to tolerate that, I want 10 of it.
And we wouldn't want any soiled knickers or spilled milk. Why don't you go head on and I'll be right there.
No, please follow him, because you were seeing things and you felt someone who should have been dead touch you.
Very well.
I ain't a necrophiliac.
Do be careful on your way back. I saw some broken glass on the way and it would not do to cut yourself on them.
I will, yeah. Just tell Mr. Wright not to blow a gasket or anything. I'll be just a minute.
No, go with him. Speaking of blowing gaskets, there's something else dangerous here. Whatever's behind that door, it could pose some problems. Best case scenario, it'd only ruin good stocks of wine. But who knows what's behind that false wall? I'll have to come back to it. This place actually doesn't look half bad at night. It's already dark as we make our way out of the mansion. With no lights, we are only illuminated by the headlamps of the Wright's car and the stars up above us. The sight of them helps me compose myself much more than several minutes of being alone did. The car's engine is running, yet the two of them stand out on the lawn. Miss Wright is busy, eyes up at the stars, and Mr. Wright, arms crossed, has his eyes down on the ground. It is a crunch of the grass under my heels that brings their attention to me.
About time. What took you so long? A minute longer and I'd think the house swallowed you all up.
Oh, hush, dear. I'm sure she has her reasons. Marianne doesn't seem the sort to idle.
Sorry, I was just checking on something important.
See, business is business and they take time, love. You should know that better than anyone. So, Marianne, what do you think? Are you the woman for the job? I know we already signed papers hiring you, but I want to be 100% sure that you are committed.
He glanced back towards the mansion, knowing what I had seen there. That curious thing in the wine cellar, which is stuff I'd only read about from fucking horror stories. And her. I should feel the slightest bit of hesitation. I should feel the slightest bit hesitant. I would say no. I was lucky. I've seen enough films to know what happens when a promiscuous woman enters a haunted house. This is my chance to turn it down, make excuses, say that I'm not up to the task, that I need to take care of my old sick father. Just pay the fine, which is probably outrageous for a contract like this, and let it go. I should turn it down. But for some obstinate reason I can't. In the same manner I haven't let go of her, of the regret that has shadowed me since that day. You want to know what that reason is? Miss McCulloch? The reason is that the writers want you to stay. I'm sorry. Much as I hate to admit, even to myself, seeing her again, the mischievous glint in her eyes, the loose tendrils of her hair curled around her forehead. It's something I've terribly missed, and now it's here, almost within arm's reach. My father would tell me sometimes, you just simply have to go through with it, consequences be damned. Don't do it. Don't do it. And while I really don't have any logical reason to say no, at least not something a client like the Wrights would want to hear from a professional designer.
It's certainly an interesting project. You can be sure I'm seeing it through the end.
Congrats, you avoided the choice with the QuickTime event. Wait, what? Which was the QuickTime event? Is that when I'm going upstairs?
Such dedication! Oh, I do love the determination.
You were always determined like that, weren't you?
Hearing a voice again sends chills running down my back. I can't wait for this day to be over. From the mansion and through Anselm, I rode with them in silence. But as soon as we hit the city proper, I asked to be dropped off and bid them good night. I thought it'd be best if I didn't stay too long confined in spaces with either Miss or Mr. Wright. Both seemed to cause me serious trouble, and if the project had been any less interesting or grand, I would have dropped it without a second thought. I would have, shouldn't have, won't. I assure them that my place isn't that far off, and I have to fight off the urge to roll my eyes and groan when whiskey throws me a little smirk. Ugh. But even my own home, peace is elusive, as is sleep. No. I lie awake thinking of what I saw in that mansion, of who I saw. If I so much as hear a single whisper from her, if I so much see a wisp of her hair, I'm afraid I'll go mad. But none of that happens, and it makes me feel hollow. No. For 2 nights I've had trouble sleeping. But it's only one morning when fatigue has already let me rest that I'm reminded of what terrifies me so. In my restless dreams I see that mirror, the one in the study, and in it I see her. I see them. What am Lorraine and Hannah? Hannah and Lorraine.
Poor pathetic Marianne! Work, work, work!
What am I looking at?
She'll work herself to death!
See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk among themselves with cruel smiles and venomous tongues. Or rather, to themselves, 2 heads, 1 body. What kind of sick fetish is this? I would make the joke that it's kind of hot, but... horrible mockery of these women, as if they were one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out, and she doesn't even see it.
Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they say a person has had a hard time telling when they're in a dream, it's true often enough. Even with this bizarre sight, even with the most obvious implication that it isn't real, I can't help but feel distressed.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Leave me alone, man.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Though they speak to each other's ears, low tones of English, I can hear them as clear as day. Their whispers pervade the air, heavy and oppressive, and they bury and dig into my head like tiny maggots. Ew, with its blows, worming into my skull. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It is only then that they take notice of my presence. Oh no, now you're looking right at me. Listen, ladies, I don't want any. You look lovely. But maybe put on some clothes. Eyes turn toward me, so I can only feel small under their scrutiny. Listen, ladies, I know that you probably want something of me, but I can't really provide that for you, and I'm just not looking right now, okay? Caricature smiles etched on their faces, mimicking each other grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
I got it.
Unless you ask, that is.
Oh, God.
Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
I mean, this is already pretty lewd as it is. I don't know. How does anyone else feel?
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself.
Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
Oh. No, 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 no. Okay, the mirror that holds the cracks. Spidering across the surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
They look livid. You think? You think, Pregnant? What do you think, Miss McCock? And when it looks like they would lunge, I get out of bed because, oh my god, I think I really, really, really need to take a drink. I wake, feeling like the wind had been knocked out of me. With a groan, I squint and find a certain puffball sitting on my chest, looking as pleased as Punch. Now look at you. She is the overlady of the cats, queen of despair and destruction of nice furniture. Though I can't say mad at her majesty because it feels like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't even remember what it was about. I do. I'm forever going to remember it, and so are the people watching this. Trying to recall leaves a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Baruthiel. Who's the good kitty? Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
And then suddenly the ring's girl's face appears on the count like, Rah! A contempt purr comes from my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Girl is quiet affair. Shower first, then a mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Ugh, oats. Sometimes I do stretches and I always check my work email. Oh, oats can be good now that I think about it. It's like an oat cereal. The Wrights will be moving into their mansion today. I don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think that they were allowed to start their move despite that. Rich people like them always find ways to get what they want, after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay? And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party. But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She barely gives me a glance as I say that before going back to room food. Cats. Still better than humans most of the time. Too bad I have to work with humans. This place is all ready as soon as I get here. The foreman, the one that I've recommended to the Wrights for his work ethic, is as early as usual. Already he's instructing the men here and there with the bigger loads. I have no chance to talk to him as Miss Wright appears and greets me with a smile. Glad to see that you only have one head today.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful, and these men have been very helpful.
What my cats do, Comet and Pigeon, is that what they'll do, since we're speaking about cats in the chat, is that they'll trick you and make you think that they weren't fed, so they end up getting like 3 meals when really they only get 2. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening.
Look at all this! It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest. He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
She stops looking at the upper landing where Mr. Wright comes through with 2 other movers and the mirror from the
Oh,
side.
do be careful with that mirror! We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it. If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there. Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out if we'll store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
They're not dogs. Mine just chews on my feet and hands. I'm sorry to hear that, though. No. That's the mirror from my dream. Miss Wright only shakes her head and laughs at her husband's antics as they take the mirror out of here. He's back and at it again soon enough, pointing the men here and there. I'd say he's a man with the plan, but it sort of interferes with our layout and design that we've agreed on before. I'm about to point it out, but...
It's better you let him realize his mistakes on his own, rather than tell him of them. That way you do not get blamed for his actions. It is more fun, too, to tell him, how does they say it? I told you so, once he slips up.
Been working with him long enough to know that, huh?
It's not like I plan to make too much of a fuss unless he changes what is actually critical.
It happens often enough, when one is made to accompany him nearly all hours of the day.
Up, higher. Come on now.
Still, he could be less pushy about things.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
It is surprising how hands-on he is compared to my usual clientele. Well, the both of them are, actually. It's refreshing to have them participate despite their initial reluctance.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma. No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
He really needs to tone down the dramatics a notch. Miss Wright and the butler look like they're used to it by now. But the rest of us,
Sweetie,
well,
Why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let your Hans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
There's an obvious sense of relief as Mr. Wright is dragged out of the room, leaving the movers to do their work in peace. Some grumbling even comes from the younger workers. It's a good thing the family butler isn't some blindly loyal tool for his boss, or there will be trouble with Mr. Wright.
He is such a bratwurst. Whiny baby who never got enough hugs from his mutter.
Probably lost in translation, and not that I'm condoning talking about someone else behind their back, but I think you meant to call Mr. Wright a horrible brat.
Well, he is that too. There are a lot of things I can call him, but I mean to say that he is a big weenie. A childish name for a childish person. Like a child, he whines when he doesn't get what he wants, and he breaks the toys that he has.
I think it's a laugh from me as well as a few of the movers who linger near. He and I carry boxes, instructing the movers where they should be, and generally taking over Mr. Wright's work. It goes off without a hitch, and the man is helpful, efficient, and capable with physical labor, despite his clean and cut appearance. A gentleman to boot, taking boxes from me when he sees me struggling with them. Speaking of boxes...
Hey, one of the boxes for the kitchen is missing. Has anyone seen it? The one with the pots and the knives.
The bratwurst had it brought upstairs, thinking it was for the attic.
Why would he... Oh, never mind. I'll go get it.
No, please don't. Why? No. Why would you go get it? Send someone else to get it. No. No. Why even bring a box of pots and knives to the attic? The man is ridiculous. There's probably no point in making sense of what he does if he does them just because he can. At least it turns out that I don't have to make it all the way up the attic. The mover, probably Mr. Wright's orders, left the box on the stairs.
At least it's not that heavy.
I managed to hoist it up without too much effort, but the time it takes me to do that is long enough for me to overhear an odd conversation I could never in my life imagine coming from the couple like the Wrights.
If you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess. I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
For once I'll have to agree with Whiskey on this one, though I can live with Miss Wright being a dog person. But as amusing this conversation might get, I really shouldn't be caught eavesdropping or slacking off on the job. At most, I should be looking at ways of possibly soundproofing certain rooms, perhaps bringing it up if they don't realize the lack of it. The biggest question, do I move on? Or do I keep listening? Move on, keep listening. Move on, I keep listening. I move on, I keep listening. I feel like she might get caught. Be professional, darling. Listen. I got two contradictory ones. Which one do I go for? Well, I have a feeling that if I keep listening, Luke is gonna come out and be like, "Ooh, birds." Let's move on. No matter how bizarre the conversation might get, I must go. Oh. Not to mention, just standing here when I have no reason to loiter just feels wrong. Besides, the magic word here is privacy, and I respect that. Keep it in mind, and I won't have a guilty conscience filled to the brim with the secrets of the rich and famous in my hands. I'd take the stairs, 2 at a time, if I wasn't in danger of getting stabbed by my baggage and if nobody else was in the foyer. But as Johann takes the box from me, I only give him a small smile. There's no reason to gossip about the peculiar conversation of his employers. He probably heard much odder things from them, and he doesn't seem to be a cat or a dog person either. As soon as I follow him into the kitchen, he raises a hand to stop.
9. I know you are a very skilled in architect, and I have seen your work. But this shall be my kitchen, and I shall fix it according to my wishes. Yeah?
Kind of weird anyone would think that pots and knives are supposed to go anywhere but the kitchen, huh?
I assume he's gotten them confused. It wouldn't be the first time.
Confused? How does that even work? I understand covers, carpets, or even curtains getting mixed up. Hey, I'd even understand pots being mixed up with silver decor. But knives?
Oh, he has a collection of ornamental ones from his father. It takes them everywhere he goes, wherever he moves.
I guess that makes sense. A bit. Still odd.
He collects knives. He merely shrugs before going back to work. I mean, we all have our hobbies. The movers work efficiently, even when they're being left alone, and they do quick work of their responsibilities. The head foreman comes, standing in the doorway to consult me on this or that, and I have to go help out every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up to standards. They keep lunch entirely, not even realizing when they do so. Nevertheless, all is well when the butler gets to the heating up the leftover bubble and squeak from the breakfast, and makes a generous batch of fish and chips for them. Most likely simple in comparison to what he serves to the Wrights, but well done nonetheless.
That smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It is an idle conversation more than anything, my thoughts as they are
If there are any left. One can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them. Even my husband. And he's American.
I really do hate getting so up and close and personal with my clients. It's a distraction. It's obvious to me that I've gotten my priorities all wrong, and I can't help but think about what I heard when I learned about the right couple. These things have a way of creeping up on a person, thoughts, ideas, wherever they are, fact or fiction. They creep up and fester, crawl and writhe in a way that twists. I hear giggling, delighted and mocking. They creep up, and the sensation of fingers ghostly briefly on my arm causes me to freeze.
Don't!
I half expect her to be there.
Whoa, no need to scream bloody murder! It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
But it's just whispering.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being scared, though but I don't believe in the likes of spooks. Being startled is not on the top of list of things Marianne liked. Luckily for him, I have nothing within reach, or he would have gotten on friendly terms with something like a rolling pin.
What was with that reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johann's been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people. Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
But the butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotion on his face to begin with since I started working for the Wrights, aside from the Vegas amusement. There must have been something there, though, judging from Mr. Wright's own content look. The expression on Mr. Wright's face is almost cruel. Though neither of them spoke, even as Johann leaves the room to serve the workers there.
So, now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
That's a boring way to look at it, but That's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be a relief, actually, if those rumors of this place being haunted is true. That just means I'm not going bonkers. Hearing, let alone seeing a dead person isn't exactly the symptoms of a healthy mind. Sure, it means that there would be such things as ghouls and goblins, but at least I'd be sane. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead girl walking around. Nope. Nope. Nope.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
A simple enough question on the surface, yet I notice the man stiffen as the question leaves our mouth. I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watching his reaction intently, but in his eyes, I see something dangerous.
That depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
Well, maybe that, but no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really. Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it. But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
Dead teenager would technically qualify as strange. But yeah, the whole I see dead people thing is gonna go over well.
None that I know of. But I'll inform Johans immediately if something comes up.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern he had on the talk of security is quickly gone. His arrogant smoke returns, as if subdued. Whatever smarmy remark or innuendo he has at the ready never comes, though, as voices from the dining hall ring out.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least not all the time.
That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As always, Mr. Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion. Miss Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion, no matter who she's talking with. It certainly puts people at ease around her. It sounds like it's working on the photographer, too. Yeah, no, the typos have been fixed after all this time. God. Hearing them, though, seems to put Mr. Wright in a sour mood. At least if his small scowl is anything to go by.
You're not gonna go out there and join Mrs. Wright?
So there's that. That's what that one looks like.
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey? You're looking like you need a serious drink.
What is it that you want to do then?
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right?
Yeah. I like being on good terms with everybody.
I was working on this thing, actually.
I'm fine. Just a bit winded from all that moving about. It's been a long day.
And the day's not over yet. So if you can excuse the bluntness, you either shape up to help or ship out back to your room and let us do the rest of the work.
He has the date's eyes locked firmly on the door that led to the dining hall. Even now we can still hear as Miss Wright and the photographer chit-chat between shots.
It's not my place to say this, but she really does seem to care a lot about you, you know?
There's no need to remind me of that.
A strange smile appears on his face before he shuts his eyes and sighs.
Tell the workers that you're all dismissed early.
That's nice and all, Whiskey. But we really shouldn't just take off. Delays aren't a good thing when it comes to big projects like these. The sooner we tackle certain issues, the better.
And I trust you can take care of these issues another day. Don't make me ask again, Mint. Just tell the others they can go home early, and to not worry, they'll still get paid the remaining hours.
I don't know what prompted this. With the air he's putting on, though, I know better than the metal and prod further. Besides...
Fine. You're the boss.
Walking out to the kitchen, I just accept the fact that whatever he says will go while under his roof. Miss Wright and the photographer are still far too busy in conversation to notice me even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I didn't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Going to the foyer has me stumble upon the family butler, Massoir, who raises a brow at my
And
presence.
where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt it. Alright, my ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there are some difficulties at first because the driver didn't know where their immigrant mansion is. Tried to have us hand over the GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other technobabble I didn't care about, and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him that it's a haunted mansion over in Aslim village, he knew just the place. And finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about that place giving him the willies. He gives me the willies too, and would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as a thought occurs to me, another blossoms in the forefront of my mind. One that has somehow bothered me greatly. More than my exasperation over whiskey and his project, or wanting all of this to stop. There has been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today. Worse. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. Loose ends. Loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already moved past this years ago. It does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I won't a stiff drink. And where else do I go to drink? At a bar? Oh, there we go. Tuesdays are for karaoke, and Wednesdays, improv. Usually these four guys who did hilarious games. The one with the Irish drinking songs are always a crowd favorite. I love that too. I actually used to do improv in high school. And I continued to do it through actually some college. I don't know if I was really good at it, but I did enjoy it a lot. Have you guys ever played improv games? Though I do love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing. Without Cam or Haruna or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beers in me, I get really, really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G! Come over here! I need you for something!
It's a good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I probably would have been kicked out of other places by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, all he has to do is give me an easy smile and shake his head, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
He's some Asian guy. And I'm pretty sure I've seen him here before a couple of times, although he never talks to anyone else except G. The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Asian Joe. Oh my god. So, other people have done some improv as well. They are fun. Whose Line Is It Anyway actually inspired the entire drama crew to be formed at my school. Oh my god. Oh my god, is Tyler here? Just Asian Joe.
All right. What is it?
I see that you're related to the priest and who else was it? The police commissioner.
Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine.
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
A whine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. Did you see the Asian Joe? I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over for it. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wrestling for a bottle from a sober man. But that doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head just like I know he would before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
With no drink and no one really to chit-chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right there and here. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to trek back home just yet.
Same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that.
Oh.
Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
The talk would have interested me, would I have kept my attention if I give it to him. But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about the things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy. And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking Wright. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about the guy. What the absolute fuck? Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up.
Is this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There's only amusement on G's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as well.
Don't worry, Holmes. She's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11". Can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here.
Oh my god.
What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
I'd insult to entry and move directly behind him and use the top of his head as an armrest. When he shakes me off, I plop into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Okay, his name is Holmes at this point.
Ah, children, the both of ya. But you're still standing after all that, are ya? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been treating like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't ya? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes.
She is freaking wasted. Oh my god. Marianne.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you. Even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
The giggle bubbles up and I press my cheek against the little countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually crackling one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexiest sin to boot. Not a private detective then? Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
And here we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle that I've been coherent for as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behavior? What? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
A wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. The feelings that taste it be bitterer than the beer I'm full of. And it gets me thinking. The thinking doesn't get me far. Too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something. As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling ya. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulder and everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me upchucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails.
Okay.
and we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey? That's Luke fucking right, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either. I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on over time. Suddenly he shoves a card in my hand. On it, it's his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy's quick on his feet, already up and at him, and as soon as the numbers leave his lips, watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pub-goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's just gone like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Swimming in cocktails. Mumbling sleepy things, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. You know, I could really go for a mojito at this point. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Why are you back? I told you, I wasn't interested. Put your dang clothes on, my goodness.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Only 10 seconds.
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
I decline.
Unless you ask, that is.
Again, I decline. Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. You know, there is a lovely cafe around the corner. You just need to put on freaking clothes. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Yeah, I know how you're feeling. Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
The moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
Okay, getting close to the end of the chapter. We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation and Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Ugh. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they've been buried their body 6 feet under Jesus. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. It doesn't have to be a waste. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. I have a feeling that she blames herself for Lorraine. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Jumping out the window. I think that's the girl that we heard on the radio. And I think from all the hints, Marianne might be in the closet. Or at least in the closet of being attracted to girls. She might be bi for all I know. At this point. Or she's lying to herself and she's actually 100% the other end. Anyway, she must have denied her. And the girl, so wrapped up with grief, freaking jumped. I can't imagine. She must feel so responsible. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites, way past their honeymoon phase. And I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Okay, so she mainly prefers girls, but does like men too, so she's fine. It's all a spectrum. Or a pie chart. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I like to believe my words will be some sort of help for Mrs. Wright. If I'm to be honest, though, they are of some help to me. Ugh. Like some weight has been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
Okay, I'm not hearing the difference in how they pronounce their names. The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, has it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies.
Is it not Marianne, but Marion?
Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
It's about time I changed.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. I mean, it's not like So you guys don't really hear much of the difference either, right? It's like, because you can clearly hear a difference with, like, Isabel and Isabella, you know? But I think the way that it's actually supposed to be pronounced is, Marianne. And then the other one is, like, Mary Ann. I think. They see someone so obsessed with her craft, and that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxborn. I make it to the kitchen with ease, and the wine cellar being my fault. Why are we going back here? Stop it. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet, that is. Worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer. Marianne McCullough. When I choose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Why the hell would you put 9 points in wisdom? That's your main casting stat, you dingus. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy. Did you just have terrible rolls all around? Was that the highest one you rolled? You sad. Oh my god, that's terrible. You have all negatives. That's the only reason. Unless you made a joke character. But it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others. People who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks as if he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with the surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about.
Wait, what?
Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gives me, he says, this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity. Wait, what? What? I thought you had 8 in charisma. Did I misread that? Yeah, you said 8. Do you just have 8s all around? Oh my god. And if you're playing a human and you got a +1 to everything, what shitty stats did you roll for your character? You have a negative to your initiative? Oh my god.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place.
You must have made a joke character and, like, put mega points into your constitution.
So, just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and a disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But
Please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
steps aside begrudgingly. No, please keep blocking it. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. Great. Priscilla greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller with a lot more bottles lining up with the wall compared to before, and knowing that he might be waiting for me here makes things worse. Oh, what might be waiting for me here? I almost hope, in a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine would just be standing there waiting for me. It would be just, well, at least it looks better now. It would be just like her to joke about inappropriate meeting. Oh, yeah. It would just be like her to joke about inappropriate meeting in the dark, secluded. Oh, typos. But just like the broken bottles and the wine that was spilled onto the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine? I miss you, you know?
Is back with chickens. Are you, Bowie? Are you? Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the timing you can't. Same, I lost my car keys today. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm looking for is a closure, and if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of the dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when someone starts to frickin' laugh. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my mind. And like a siren song, it draws me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching the dead end. Am I gonna die?
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is inane, wouldn't that be insane? Only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous, but I need to find a way to open it. You should have had a party with you, girl. Going in this dungeon. Already, I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. Like me, I am Mocha, a wizard. And I won't list off my stats. Well, actually, I'm more of a bard. I'm a bard with multi-class into wizard. I didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that would have changed anytime soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it. Hopefully without the need to break it down.
A shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
It's such a silly thing to say out loud, though there is no amusement on my face. And I do check, glancing at the... oh god, the mirror.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
You would be playing Call of Cthulhu in that case. I mean, how long have I been down here searching for the switch of a hidden door? Either you're playing Call of Cthulhu or that Weird West tabletop game. What is that game? In order to go and find a dead girl, no less. It isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me, and I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I might have more time, although I know it's... Ugh, I really shouldn't let these kinds of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point of me going down here. These tabletop references, ugh. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in my search, but there. A section of the wall about the size of my palm, and just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch, or a button rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. Why did you do this? Why do you do this to me? But when a click echoes in the cellar and the hidden door creaks open, I stop. Okay, guys. Should I stay or should I go? Life or death choice, I shall be quiet. God dang it. Ugh. You already came down here, so keep going. Tyler, are you still there? Do I stay? Or do I go? Stay, go, stay, go, stay, go, stay, go, stay, go. I feel like going in because we already went through here before. But I don't want to go in. Maybe Tyler's busy with something. So, Bowie, go in. Okay. My instinct is telling me to stay. But let's go in. No time like the present, huh? I have to hurry up. I turn around when there's a crash. I just broke the mirror. I have so much bad luck right now. I'm in a torture dungeon. This is what this is. This is a dungeon. Great. Now we're stuck in here. The door slams shut behind me and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. But when I see a much more visible lever on the other side, I calm down and shake my head. How about test if the lever works? On the other side is a passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment till I realize what it holds. Cells! Closed off by heavy iron bars lying to the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy. Though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench, the foul smell of humans and corpses alike being left to rot. What the frick were these people doing? The breeze, most likely coming from the other side of the patches that goes through, is to thank for that. If this place has been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine that the odor would be fouler than it is now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, though. The architecture in their time was magnificent. Human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if the Erigad mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There is no time to dwell on it further, though. Okay, we are here. Let's leave. No! God dang it, you again! Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is prepped with wounds and gnawing flesh. I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna die. It is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how much I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here?
It's alive.
Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. As soon as it opens its eyes, it looks at me with a smile, and there's nothing on my mind but horror. Yeah, I'm dead. Good, you ran. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. Oh my god. If this place is huge, and it's like a maze, I keep going. Even when I look back, I see nothing of her anymore because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
Why didn't you go back through the door? Why didn't you test to see if the door could still open? What is wrong with you? There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. I'm dead now. So I struggle up until I'm thrown into the other side like a rag doll. I hit the ground on my sides, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is the only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me!
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut, afraid of what might happen next. Please don't.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. I think that thing is her, and she's just been playing with you. But as I see her smile, that same one that thing had, I know that that isn't Lorraine. I'm a fool to think so in the first place. It could never have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine is dead. She looms over me, backs me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Rain turns and shifts into that thing before me. Yeah, I knew it. And with the same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. Barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out through the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled at the image of Lorraine and the thought of being trapped down here. What? So then where? I see a skull right here.
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl?
What?
Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Juarez kid would panic.
Oh.
What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There, in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes in flickering to life, and a video has playback on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying attention to it. My life was on the line. When the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers marking shots of help me filled the cell, I just had to watch. I freaking hate this. What I had seen students judging by their St. Goretti uniforms, they were holding the letter. And that thing, the woman, she... What? Wait, what? Wait. Wait. What? What? Wait. Am I dead? I have to be if I'm in a cell, but she didn't kill me. At least I didn't see her kill me. Explaining this is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through the wide open windows, muffled laughter and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, the light kiss of the afternoon sun. I was thinking that actually. I was actually thinking that that due to the red paint brush that they had, that they were the ones that probably added it. Send this to 5 people. It really just matters if you freaking read it. There is no way to be saved. I hope that I am alive. You say that I made the live choice, so soon there will be a call, a crossing of the thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
I guess. But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. A mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny, a fiery hue. They are all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale about this, I'm far from someone who can. Birds! Fleeting fancies, that's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one. Who knows? More birds! But at present, what I have done and what I have chosen to be, well,
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Yeah, that was their way of writing her out of the story since she was a backers character. They couldn't quite figure out what else to do with her since she is integral to the story. I see. Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or as exciting as I imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into the neat circle against the papers I'm currently grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that is open, students began piling into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears and let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude at the nearest balcony so long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother Hen, she calls me, and then she does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone could be childlike 1 minute and then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all. That big nupty. If she thinks I wouldn't notice, she's got another thing coming to her. That's how she has always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I really rather not pass another burden on
Or
her.
become one myself.
I think that's too late. Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from, once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas come take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms on my lips when a screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, once I do accept the call, is wholly
Hello?
familiar.
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper. Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't quite sit well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time in relaying everything. The details she provided are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. This isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with the words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down the urge to demand answers right then and there. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she wouldn't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she is so going to hear this.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but oh, you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
The hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention it is inconvenient location in Luxembourg's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of a city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now, to some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. They can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? That shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said about the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, growing with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, just screams off. Wrong. This isn't some riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. This is a school place. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day, I'll stop and bask in the music and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, a single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. Oh, it's you again. When I looked down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stared back at me. Her arms wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. Buenas tardes, Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink. Why isn't she speaking? She loosens her hold, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her face. If anything, it seems that the remarkably amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one of her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Ew. That's just making me... That snack name makes me very uncomfortable. A jelly baby? Is it an actual shape like a baby? What is a jelly baby?
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
I kinda wanna try it. She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tia Luke.
I guess you're Spanish because you're speaking Spanish.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal.
What is wrong with your voice?
Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Oh, that was her talking behind her hand like this. It was her talking behind her hand like this. Okay, I was wondering what that was. It's a real candy? Sugar babies? Oh right, didn't one of the doctors from Doctor Who like it? The one who always wore a scarf? The teacher in wants me to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? Copy paste. Jelly babies are a type of soft sugar jelly sweet shaped like plump babies of variety color. So people are actually eating babies. Okay. At any rate, they're nothing but well behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh, oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look, but as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at the moment. And frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her
I'm
to.
sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up on my question, just like that. I know I've earned this girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than Southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
I want to look at my relationships. Oh. Well, let's bring these up. My goodness.
Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
Yeah, and here's a plot hole. Not over trivial matter or even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
Okay,
London
yep.
Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Yep, we envy the young because they don't have any worries about anything. Unless they're in a terrible situation. Birds! They'll come around again, I'm sure. 3, 2, 1. Birds! Gotta enjoy the birds. Luxmore may be a small city, but it's no stranger to the hellish rush hour traffic. Yep. Let's drive all the way here, and I bet we're gonna go to that freaking mansion, and then there's gonna be like no one there. Yep, here we are. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxmore, the estate in the nearby Anselm village stands as its complete opposite, living and breathing the songs of old, whispers of a once blooming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already hanging out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of a familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
Maybe that's why she's so ticked off when we last saw her. No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I can certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number. The gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. Of the 4th one, right about when it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going on far too long for my taste. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are faint murmurs and the eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to the noise louder than their ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray too far into that ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Well, we're just jumping right into it, huh? Okay.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise, you can't see me, but my head is in my hands now. You know what? I think this is a great place to come back to. Thank you for joining me today. And we'll get back to this soon.